So this is what we'll be discussing. Okay. Last, Shruti has very nicely described how pranayam itself can increase the vagal tone. Pranayam means uh, pranic breathing, the inhalation, hold, exhalation, and the hold aspect of it was what we discussed last time. And there are other pranayam also which are equally important in activating whatever moves your stomach up and down, inside out. That is the one which activates the biggest network of nerves apart from the brain, uh, is our abdomen, which controls uh, kidney, the colon, the intestine, the adrenal gland, pancreas. I mean, all kind of things. And in fact, that vagus nerve got its name because of it is vagabond everywhere it is. So anything of these practices, yogic practices that we have done in our life, Bhastrika, Pranayam, Kapalbhati, Ujjayi is the best way to be uh, to breathe while you are doing any yogasana or any problem. I would say any pranayam. Ujjayi is the kind of breathing one should do. And of course, Brahmari, uh, we just heard Shruti talk about how Brahmari and your different way of holding, putting your pressure points on different nerve endings of the vagus efferents. That's where it's the activation happens. And Udgit is another one which is chanting of we basically we do in Brahmari. Brahmari we do the Udgit only, where you are extended. This particular thing can be done with using sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa intonations. So when you are let's say when you are doing Om, you can turn your tongue and touch it to the soft part of your palate, and with that you start to say sa, but the om in sa like this, mm, with the tongue twisted. So as you go from lower frequency to higher frequency, sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa, that one you will not be able to touch the tongue to the soft part of your palate up there. It is so that is what it basically is actually vibrating those areas in just above it, like the area just above it is pituitary, just behind it is pineal gland, and the entire Agya chakra, that whole midbrain area is getting vibrated, and that has all the nuclei which sends um, nerve fibers of dopamine, serotonin, GABA, and the center point is center in the center part of the brain, central part just above the hard part of your palate has acetylcholine receptors and acetylcholine uh, network. So those things are unbelievably taken care of when you do Brahmari with Udgit having the Om chanted in different intonations of Sare Gama Padhanisa with your tongue rolled up. So this is quite a lot I am saying, but basically it's easy. So yogasana that increase the vagal tone is are these. Now always I have seen this happen. This was my discovery. Uh, Although my dad taught me, but I never followed it. Then I found out that this is the best way to do all the yogasana. The effective way of doing Surya Namaskar or any yogasana is to do pranic breathing every time. Deep inhalation, hold 2 to 3 seconds, then do the locks, 3 locks. These are the 3 locks that you say Jalandhar Bandha, which is throat lock, Udyan Bandha, which is the abdominal lock. Pull your stomach inside, and Mula Bandha is pull your lower part, the glutes inside, like tighten it up, and hold it up. So that's how these three. So if you do, when you do inhalation, you hold. That is actually kumbhak, right? And when you're doing the kumbhak, do the three bandhas. Then just 2 3 seconds, not more than that. And then exhale, and again do 2 3 second hold, which is Bahe Kumbhak. And then again do the three bandhas. And this is the way you do any yogasana. So So what are the Surya Namaskar which increase the vagal tone? One is Surya Namaskar. If you do 12 in Surya Namaskar, I don't think you need to do any of them. But if you want much, uh, like for instance, if we want to use this knowledge, which is almost like uh, spaceship. If you just do simple Surya Namaskar just to keep your body okay, it is as good as using the spaceship to plow the field. So Sadhguru says that it's plow the field to grow some wheat. So that is how he is using this beautiful knowledge. But if you can use this knowledge to the best of our ability, you have to spend some time to it, and then you will be able to do a spaceship situation. So these are the various, I have figured out, these are the 15 different things, simplified level. One is Surya Namaskar, what actually this is just a warm up. And then you do the Bandha Konasana, then you do Shishupalasana, then Marjaryasan, cat cow position. Actually, what we are doing is, as we are going from Bandha Konasana to all the way, we are increasing the activation of different chakras from base, which is root chakra, or you can say Muladhara chakra to Swadhisthana to Manipura chakra to Anahat chakra to the throat chakra, and then this thing. So these are the different ways of doing it. Shishupalasan is Swadhisthana chakra. Marjaryasan is Swadhisthana chakra plus uh, Manipura chakra per Anahat chakra. Mayurasana is another peacock pose, which is basically uh, to tighten up your. Basically, it's a very strong yogasana for purely Manipura chakra. So Shashankasana is another variation. Shashankasana is Manipura chakra plus it has Swadhisthana chakra, and Bhujangasana means you're pushing your neck up real good. So it actually activates all the chakras. Then again, Ardha Matsyendrasana, again twist of your spine, which activates your Manipura chakra. You will see in almost all yogasana, 100%, the powerful ones, all of them activate Manipura chakra or abdomen area, right? And Dhanurasana again, Virbhadrasana again, Anjaneyasana is another one which activates everything, all the chakras. So Paschimottanasana is seated forward bend. Ustrasana is the camel pose. Now this camel pose can be used by if somebody is now Anuradha ji, if you're suffering from jet lag or in in Bharat, you can do Ustrasana. Immediately you will be out of jet lag in one day. You will just go back to Indian style, time, everything. You will be fine. Because what happens when you doing the Ustrasana, you bending your neck back, and that causes pineal gland activation. When you put the neck back and hang there a little bit for let's say 1 minute, not more than that. Okay, don't do that too much. And of course, Sarvangasana and Halasan. Again, Halasan, same thing. And Mahamudra, all the three different positions in Kriya Yoga, that is what it is all about. And then you can sit in Kriya Yoga and do Dhyan. And that is where this entire thing can be used as a spaceship. And your body is a spaceship, and your protocol is this is spaceship protocol. You can really climb high in your consciousness. These are the different every position in Surya Namaskar itself is a yogasana. Okay. Now, if you say this is Parmasana, says Om Chitra, then you say Hasta Uttanasana and Pad Hastasana. Padahastasana, and Ashwasanchalasana. So this is another Chaturanga Dandasana. This is Ashtanga Namaskar, and this is Bhujangasana. This is Adhomukh Svanasana. This is like the dog do that. Ashwasanchalan, again the same thing as this one. Padahastasana. This is another Uttanasana, and Pranamasana. This is Pranamasana. So these are different 12 different yogasanas right there. But to have the maximum output coming out of this Surya Namaskar also is, remember, inhale deeply every time and exhale here, and then inhale here, exhale here, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. This is how it is. So anyway, so do these things only with Ujjayi breathing, bandha, all the three bandhas, and kumbhak. This is how it is. Beautiful output will you will have happen to have. Now is the new topic that I am talking about, gut brain axis. Of course, Sujna ji might definitely know all these nice things. So what happens is, I mean, this is a very simplified level of understanding how brain is controlled by our gut and how gut is controlled by our brain. Both the way there is a bidirectional discussion going on amongst it. So brain causes gut motility, gastric juice secretion, and microbiota balance. And on top of the gut microbiota causes neurotransmitter secretion, neurotransmitter, and that goes into the bloodstream. And the best thing about neurotransmitter is that most of the neurotransmitters are permeable to blood-brain barrier, so they can go and do the good stuff. And this gut microbiota is the first thing that one physician tests if there is a problem of stress, anxiety, depression, all this. This gut microbiota is totally destroyed if you are in stress. Stress bacteria do not like human stress. They might like outside stress, that's okay. But human stress, they die. Like for instance, if you have typhoid or any this, and you taking broad spectrum antibiotic for some reason. Broad spectrum antibiotic destroys the gut microbiota, and as a result of which there is a big time suffering of depression, anxiety, stress, all these things starts right here. Now, this is one of the things that I found out was, now, nervous system, brain axis, from the green thing is directing gut microbiota, intestinal mucosa, intestinal immune system, and enteric nervous system. These are the brain's job. Now, what is the job of a gut? Gut's job is to create vagal and spinal afferent neurons. So okay, this they go back, go up. Last time, remember we discussed how the vagus nerve entry happens into the brain, and it takes up, and everything is activated because of that. The gut hormones and the metabolic factors and microbial metabolites. This is what causes brain activation, and in return what happens, it affects the affect, emotion, cognition, belief, decision making. So all decision making is a prefrontal cortex job, memory is hippocampus job, and hunger, satiety, all in prefrontal area. All these things are sitting here. So if your gut is not good, there was I had a boss. He was like, he would never smile. He was all the time like 12 बजे रहते थे उसके भेजे. So I always thought he was terminally constipated or something. So if you say hello, he would not respond. He would be frowning all the time. And I'm sure he must be having terminal constipation. Because if you cannot smile, that's it. Your gut is busted. I'm 100% sure. Why? Because these are the different vasoactive peptides, intestinal peptide, substance P, gastrin, secretin, motilin, bradykinin, all these things are produced by nitric oxide is produced in the gut, which goes either by activation of vagus nerve endings in the intestine, and that communicates a long distance signal into the brain. Alternatively, these are the ones which also get released into the bloodstream, and few of these neurotransmitters get access back into the brain because they can pass the blood-brain barrier. Okay. So our gut makes the same chemicals that our brain makes when we think, right? Except that the nervous system in our gut does not have the ability to doubt itself like our central nervous system does. So when we think and we make decisions, there are so many commonality between our brain as well as our gut and that entire vagus nerve system, the Manipura chakra and all that. But the gut does not have the ability to doubt. So that's why so gut feeling is real thing. Why somebody say I have gut feeling? That gut feeling is it bypasses our logic. It bypasses our negative um, conditioning. That's why uh, the Lord in its infinite mercy has made another level of regulation of the brain because it can do something to save ourselves, to save this species. That's what it is. Now I'll tell you something which is this is a new thing I have studied over the last 1 week because I wanted to show that confirming this slide that how the gut bacteria can really take care of it. If dopamine is synthesized, now remember, dopamine. Where is dopamine most important in Parkinson's disease? Remember, and in Parkinson's disease, the first thing ever that gets bad is gut. That fellow does not have proper digestion. That fellow does not have proper bowel movement. He is terminally constipated. Yes, he is terminally constipated. That person. Parkinson's disease origin happens in the gut, not in the brain. It manifests in the brain. Why? Because dopamine is lacking here. Now, tyrosine and phenylalanine are these two amino acids which are digested product of protein, right? Protein is made of protein is a big chain of different amino acid, right? They joined together. So when the protein get digested in our intestine, it of course has tyrosine, phenylalanine, and all that. Of course, they go back to the bloodstream and cyst and go back. Some are absorbed by the cells and all that. But few of them get lactobacillus bifidobacterium and lactobacillus. These two have enzymes to convert the tyrosine and phenylalanine into dopamine. So what is that enzyme? Tyrosine hydroxylase, right? So this is when these guys are hydroxylated, it produces dopamine. Now, second one is serotonin. So Enterococcus, Streptococcus, and Bifidobacterium. These are the three different bacteria population in our gut which converts tryptophan into serotonin. And then nitric oxide, of course, is synthesized by lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. So you see lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, and bifidobacterium here also, and lactobacillus, and so these three are major bacteria in our gut. So when we take this uh, various yogurt, different yogurt, it should be from different culture, we'll have these bacteria in them, and that's how it is important. And nitric oxide is where these three neurotransmitters are produced in the gut as well as in the brain. So when you do the Bhramari pranayam, this nitric oxide increases 15% 15-fold more into the blood and in the brain. Remember that. And this nitric oxide makes the brain relax, and and it activates those network which allows brain to chill actually. Okay. There's another one I'm sharing. GABA and glutamate and GABA synthesis. Now, glutamate. Now, this again, alpha ketoglutarate and NADH. This is the byproduct of some uh, metabolic cycle in our gut. So, Escherichia coli and Clostridium. These two bacteria in the gut convert this and make it glutamate. Now, glutamate, it's an excitatory neurotransmitter. Remember that. So, when you eat your Chinese food, sometimes they do add monosodium glutamate, which is basically not a very good thing because it causes a lot of excitation in the brain. And too much excitation can fry that brain cells, brain neurons unnecessarily. But there is a counter. Once the glutamate is made, it does the activation, but lactobacillus and bifidobacterium convert the glutamate to GABA. GABA is nothing but gamma aminobutyric acid. So don't worry about the name. What I wanted to tell you is this bacteria can create excitatory neurotransmitter, and this bacteria, bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, can create inhibitory neurotransmitter, which is anti-anxiety. This can create glutamate can cause a lot of anxiety. GABA can inhibit that anxiety. So there is a balance going on by just the bacteria population in our system. Another one is acetylcholine synthesis, lactobacillus and bifidobacterium. These are the two major bacteria. You should always look for any yogurt culture which has these two bacteria. Very, very important because it basically is synthesizing all the good neurotransmitters in our system. So what do we eat, right? Diverse kind of food is very important when you eat. Lot of vegetable, legume, beans, and fruit. These things have these when you sprout them and leave them overnight, they generate these bacteria. They have latent bacteria sitting there, and they start somehow germinate, uh, increase in the population. High fiber fruits such as raspberries, artichokes, green pea, broccoli, chickpeas, very important. And especially banana, which is raw. This is little bit greenish in color. That is very good. Fermented food, of course, yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, and kefir, kombucha, tempeh. All these things are fermented food. These contain different kinds of bacterial population, which are which once we eat this, actually this bacteria population has a very good coating, so it does not get destroyed in our stomach in the acid environment. All they want is home in large intestine somewhere, and they go there and make home there and they multiply there. They are very helpful, good bacteria, friendly bacteria. Resistant starch. Now I have seen my mother used to cook chapati or rice, and she would give me in the morning. I had no idea why was she was. Why don't you cook fresh and give it to us? No, it's good for you. Okay, it's good for me. You know what happens is this when you cook the rice, especially the starchy food, including potato, rice, and cook, and then cool. The cooling turns some of the digestible starch into resistant starch. The resistant starch is also found in grains, green legumes, seeds, legume, and raw banana, and resist digestion because it is bound with the fibrous cell wall. So this is the beauty of it all. I said, now I get it. As food rich in polyphenols such as cocoa, dark chocolate, red wine, grape skin, green tea, almonds, not the brown part of the skin. The soaked almond, when you remove the brown part of it. Onion is unbelievable. Blueberries and broccoli. These are the different food which have very, very high rich in polyphenols. Of course, I discussed this part in the Gravity of Gratitude, page 255. If somebody wants to know more about this. Yoga, yes. This is another thing that I wanted to share with you today. And the simplest and the most non-aggressive way of increasing the vagal tone is yoga, which activates the conscious reset button of the entire mind-body system done all at once. I cannot overemphasize the power of Yoga Nidra in today's world. Honestly speaking, no matter what you're doing, mother should do, grandfather should do, grandmother should do, children should do, because life out there is not what we or our grandparents had. There is a lot of stress, and thank to all the yogis who discovered this concept million years ago, that today the humanity will face this challenge, and yoga nidra will be the most important thing that you can do to yourself. It's the most underappreciated practice of yoga, because they people who are go doers, no, do get the job done day for yesterday kind of people. All of these are high type A personalities. They don't like, oh, what do we do in yoga nidra? Do nothing, man. Ah, how can it be doing nothing? You are you kidding? You don't, you say doing nothing. I can't do nothing. I mean, that is the problem most people have. They cannot do nothing. It's a disease. I'm telling you. People cannot do nothing. They cannot sit quietly. They just all the time restless. So that is why they are getting fried. The brain is getting fried, and the brain is not even working. Like retarded rabbit uses more better brain than the guy who is doing all the time stuff. Do. Yes, they are not using their brain actually. They're just restless. Now, yoga nidra is just like floating. Floating is not something that you do. It's something that happens in the absence of doing, right? This I cannot appreciate. I had shared this slide with somebody, and he said this. He shut off and he ran away. He ran away. I said, I can't do anything like this. It is not possible. Okay. When you let go of any doing, everything gets done. Then this is what Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells us, when you let go of any doing, it gets done. How it gets done, you have to try it. Please try once. Then only you will have it. Ego is the biggest obstacle in achieving the benefits of yoga. I cannot overemphasize this. Ego. And remember, we have been talking about the golden nuggets in Sri Ramcharit Manas, where moha sakal vyadhi na kar mula. Moha means delusion, and delusion related to delusion immediately increases your ego, and that is the biggest obstacle to yoga nidra. And you cannot get benefit of your most beautiful thing that you can. If you do nothing other than yoga nidra, you are fantastic. Now, there is one study done in State University of Hospital in Copenhagen, Denmark, and the one who did this study was Swami Janakananda, a Kriya Yogi and a Guru Bhai of my Guru Paramahansa Atmananda Giri. So this was, I say, man, this is so cool that Swami Janakananda, who happens to be a friend. I mean, whenever my guru when goes to Germany, he goes and stays with him. So this is the he is the one who was taught in the Paramahansa Yogananda lineage of Kriya Yoga. So they have done some unbelievable, beautiful study, and in brain and cognitive neurosciences and all that, they have studied stuff. So at rest, what happened? They done the fMRI scanning and all that. What it does, it is a normal consciousness where the frontal lobe is active for normal function, right? During yoga nidra, the visual center and the sensory center gets activated along with limbic system. Now, when you do the visual center, when you're doing, how come their visualization, power of visualization increases tremendously. So when you can visualize and you can taste it, everything that you can visualize can happen in reality. Manifestation, if you want to manifest anything, peace, job, XYZ, everything in that deep state of like total peace, the visual center gets activated. Now your eyes are closed, but your visual center is get, which means you can have a very vivid visualization of whatever you want to have happen in your life. Sujna ji was asking me, how do you visualize? Remember, long time ago, you were asking me, how can I visualize something important to me today? This is how you do Yoga Nidra. Feeling of happiness happens. And the best thing is about the speech and the language are especially active. The Broca area in the brain, just next to the prefrontal cortex. That is actually serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, all these neurotransmitters and hormones are flooding your brain right now. Actually, this study also was conducted by another person, which I did not include here, where he was taking different times of these Yog Nidra Dhyan blood samples, and he was uh, assessing the levels of different hormones and neurotransmitters in the blood as it was happening. So of course you cannot directly assess the brain's neurotransmitter, but at least you can see that if it is synthesized in the blood, in the brain, then some of it can get uh, leaked out through the blood-brain barrier into the blood vessels. So anyway, another visual and tactile center. Your sensation. They say when you are deep in meditation, you can hear the ant crawling in neighbor's wall. It is that's not you're not sleeping. You are very intensely aware of everything. That's the beauty of the yoga. And of course, increased dopamine production. 65% of it is percent of dopamine is while listening to the CD. Experience Yog Nidra by Swami Jan. Just listening to this CD can increase 65% of dopamine. Now, can you believe that this is a possible treatment for people with and I have got, oh my goodness, I should have brought I have a person in Pune, Shambhaji Nagar, close to Pune, who happened to have Parkinson's early onset at the age of 45. It happened just 3 months ago. His wife called me. He said, "I have this happened, and can we do something about this man? I don't know what all can we do." So I asked him to do your Brahmari pranayam and all that. Of course, it helped him. I said, "Do Yog Nidra." And then I sent in the CD, the YouTube link where he did the Yoga Nidra. And I asked his wife to take a video of him doing all different timing and send me all the different video. And honestly, his hand, you could not, just like Zakir Hussain playing tabla, that kind of a hand, he was constantly shaking all the time. And while doing Yoga Nidra, he was completely silent. No movement. He said, I could not believe this man could not sleep for a long time. And because his hand was always shaking, and he could not, every 2 minutes he will sleep, and again his hand will shake. So, but today he slept and his hand was not moving. I said, thank you, Yog Nidra. And then I remembered Swami Janakanand saying that 65% of dopamine increase happens in the brain because of that. Now, PTSD fighters also get benefited. Women suffering from sexual assault, because once a woman is sexually assaulted for whatever reason, they have such self blame and depression. They hate their body, they hate their soul, they hate everything about them. But if they are made to listen to this CD, their suffering, their improvement in sleep, and their acceptance of who they are, and moving out above from that. I have seen people who have who have been sexually assaulted with Yog Nidra have gone out of their depression, and not only that, they have helping other people, other victims like that in a much powerful way than somebody who has not experienced that. Anna? Yes, hello. Anyway, so there is another different things can be taken care of. Work related stress or osteoarthritic pain, back pain, stiffness of joints, swelling and tenderness, insomnia, another migraine, anxiety, depression, tinnitus, worry, perceived stress, going to college. Oh God, most people I have. I tell you, this is like panacea for present day evil in the planet. Present day evil in the planet can be solved by Yoga Nidra. If there is a compassionate teacher who can take care of them and really somehow cajole them into doing it. I mean, we know the benefit. Type 2 diabetes can be reduced, cardiovascular disease can be reduced. Anyway, Yoga Nidra has a huge potential in preventing neurodegenerative disorder, particularly Parkinson and Alzheimer's, and of course, anxiety and depression. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated.